The morality of advertising, multi-level marketing, and pyramiding. What is multi-level marketing? It is also known as network marketing or pyramid selling. It's a contentious approach to selling goods and services in which participants' earnings are derived from a commission system that is structured like a pyramid or is binary in nature. The MLM company's revenue is generated by non-salaried employees who sell the company's goods and services. The one issue that is tackled in multi-level marketing is presence of pyramid schemes. The other issue is get-rich-quick scams. What is get-rich-quick schemes? It is a promise large of amount of money for little to no investment but often fail to deliver. Scammers use emphasizing language and false claims to attract victims to these schemes. The example of it is the range from multi-level marketing, opportunities, and cryptocurrency pumps to speculative investments and dubious online business ventures. What are pyramid schemes? It is a form of investment in which paying participants recruits two further participants, with returns being given to early participants using money contributed by later ones. A classic example of a pyramid scheme is a chain letter. Recipients are encouraged to add new people to the chain and to also send money or gifts to those at the top of the chain. These are illegal practices and like all other pyramid schemes, 90% of participants will lose money.
Here are the real-life examples and case studies related to the morality of advertising, multi-level marketing, and pyramid scheme. The morality of advertising, multi-level marketing, or MLM, and pyramiding is a complex and nuanced topic. Each of these business practices has ethical considerations that can vary depending on implementation, transparency, and impact on consumers and participants. Ethical advertising must be based on truthfulness, transparency, social responsible, and practicing respect for privacy. It should not be manipulating, exploiting, and performing deceiving practices. One of the best examples based on my experience is the USANA MLM. It is an international multi-level marketing manufacturer of supplements that practices ethical advertising. The company's product portfolio includes nutritional supplements and skincare items such as core vitamins, mineral supplements, snack bars, low glycemic meal replacement shakes, skin and hair nourishment, miniaturization, and product protections. Based on my experience and observation as a former sales associate of an MLM company, USANA practices clear communication about the business model, the system, potential earnings, and the costs involved in joining and maintaining membership, providing adequate training and support to all participants to help them succeed in the business, and a fair compensation plan that rewards genuine sales over recruitment. On the other hand, companies practicing unethical business are existing. We have pyramiding schemes, Ponzi schemes, and other types of scamming are now over the market. A Ponzi scheme is a fraudulent investment scam promising a high rates of return with little risk of investors. The scheme generates returns for earlier investors with money taken from later investors. This is similar to pyramid scheme in that both are based on using investors' funds to pay the earlier backers. For a Ponzi scheme to work, a constant flow of new investments is required. The scheme collapses when it becomes difficult to recruit new investors or when a large number of investors ask to cash out. Here are the biggest Ponzi schemes in the Philippines. We have the Aman Features Group. The Aman Features Group grabbed headlines in 2012 for defrauding thousands of Filipinos in what is considered as one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in the Philippine history. Operating primarily in Pagadian City, Zamboanga del Sur, the scheme promised investors incredibly high returns up to 80% in a matter of weeks. The group's persuasive tactics lured in not just ordinary citizens but also local politicians and police officers. The scheme collapsed when it failed to deliver the promised returns, leading to a financial loss estimated at over 12 billion pesos. The founder, Manuel Amalillo, was eventually arrested in Malaysia, highlighting the challenges of cross-border financial crimes. The second biggest Ponzi schemes here in the Philippines is the Legacy Group scandal. The Legacy Group scandal, surfacing in 2008, involved in a complex network of banks and pre-need companies under the Legacy Group of companies. It promised Filipino investors and plan holders high-yielding investments and pre-need plans that were unsustainable. The group used money from new investors to pay off earlier investors, a typical of a Ponzi scheme. The collapse of the Legacy Group led to a loss of savings and investments for thousands, with an estimated damage of billions of pesos. The scandal underscored the vulnerability of the financial pre-need industry and led to significant regulatory reforms in the Philippines to protect investors. We also have Kappa Community Ministry International. This community, or the Kappa community, emerged as one of the most controversial alleged Ponzi schemes in recent Philippine history. Founded by Pastor Joel Apolinario, Kappa promised its members a 30% monthly return on investments for life, a clear red flag for financial regulators. The scheme attracted a massive following, with millions of pesos collected daily from members across the country. Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, and the Philippine government under President Roa Rodrigo Duterte's directive took aggressive actions against Kappa, leading to the freezing of assets and the filing of criminal charges against the leaders. The Kappa case highlighted the persistent allure of Ponzi schemes and the ongoing battle against fraudulent investment scams here in the Philippines. Moving forward, here are the relevant laws and regulations applicable to the morality of advertising, multi-level marketing, and pyramid scheme. In 2023, the Philippines witnessed a continuation of fraudulent investment schemes, with new operations emerging despite ongoing efforts to combat financial scams. These schemes have become more sophisticated, leveraging social media and digital platforms to reach a broader audience. The promise of high returns with minimal risk remains the common lure for unsuspecting investors. Here in the Philippines, the regulation of advertising, multi-level marketing, and pyramid schemes is governed by a combination of laws, administrative orders, and regulatory bodies. We have Consumer Act of the Philippines, Republic Act No. 7394, Article 110, it emphasizes the truth advertising, and Article 111 focuses on misleading advertisements. Security Regulation Code, or Republic Act No. 8799, this focuses on registration requirements. MLM companies that offer investment-like products may be required to register with the Security and Exchange Commission, or SEC, to ensure that they are not operating as an unregistered investment schemes. The Security and Exchange Commission, or SEC, has issued multiple advisories and warnings about entities operating without the necessary licenses and engaging in Ponzi-like activities. These schemes vary in their approach, from offering cryptocurrency investments to traditional investment opportunities, but the underlying mechanism remains the same, by using new investors' money to pay earlier investors. We also have the Securities Regulation Code. This empowers the Security and Exchange Commission to regulate all securities transactions within the Philippines. It is instrumental in ensuring that companies offering investments to the public are properly registered and disclose the necessary financial information. The code makes it unlawful for anyone to sell or offer for sale any security in Philippines without a registration statement duly filed with the approved by the SEC. This provision helps prevent fraudulent investment schemes, including Ponzi schemes, from taking root by requiring transparency and accountability from entities seeking public investments. We also have, lastly, the Anti-Money Laundering Act, or AMLA. This act, further strengthened by its amendments, it aims to protect and preserve the integrity and confidentiality of bank accounts while ensuring that the Philippines cannot be used as a money laundering site for the proceeds of any unlawful activity. By requiring financial institutions to report suspicious transactions, the AMLA helps in identifying and tracking the flow of funds related to Ponzi schemes. This is crucial in the early detection and prevention of financial scams, as well as in the prosecution of those behind the schemes. So these legal measures are supported by regulatory guidelines and advisories issued by the SEC, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas or BSP, and other relevant agencies aimed to educating the public about investment scams and also providing a framework for their prevention and prosecution. So that's all for real-life example and case studies and relevant laws and regulations applicable to the morality of advertising, multi-level marketing, and pyramiding. Once again, this is Ivy May Balanta report.
So hi there, good day. My name is Dominic Francis S. Gomez here, next reporter for this issue. So what I'm going to be discussing is the ethical theories and frameworks applicable to the issue, which is the morality of advertising, multi-level marketing, and pyramiding. So for this specific topic here, there's only two common frameworks. First one is the cognitive framework, and next is the behavioral framework. So starting off with the cognitive framework, this is a framework or theory for this topic, wherein it focuses more on the mental aspect of the consumers. So this theory states that every advertisement must focus on the mental aspects of the consumers. Going to the next one, which is the behavioral framework. This one focuses on the market trends as well as the emotions of the customers, which is opposite of the first framework that we discussed. This one highly focuses on the latest trends and current emotions of the customers towards the new trends popular right now, either by social media or the market. So hi there, this is reporter Dominic Francis S. Gomez once again. What I'm going to be discussing is the possible solutions or best practices to address these ethical concerns on the topic morality of advertising. So upon brainstorming this with my colleagues, the best possible solution that we have to avoid any malicious or misinformation when it comes to advertising is to have a specific department for every organization or company that is obligated to check the legal compliances of these advertisements. Through this way, we avoid any malicious or hate speech that may offend other persons or consumers, either by religion, by race, or just by their ethnicity. So having this kind of departments in every organization will surely prevent and make sure that legal compliance is always the top priority when it comes to advertisements.
Business bluffing and problem and fairing pricing. What is business bluffing? Business bluffing consists of puffery. At worst, it involves deception or fraud. Either way, the morality and legality of it are already clearly established. So discussion on the matter should follow these established routes. What are the ethical issues? First, price discrimination. It is a major ethical issue in pricing. This happens when a business charges various consumer groups different rates from the same good or service. Deception and dishonesty. Bluffing involves deceiving others about one's intentions, plans, or abilities, which can lead to a lack of trust and credibility. Unfair competitive advantage. A company may use bluffs to gain an unfair competitive advantage over others, which can lead to unethical market manipulation. Misrepresentation. Bluffs may involve misrepresenting information, which can be illegal and damage a company's reputation. Last, emotional manipulation. Bluffs can be used to manipulate others' emotion, which can lead to unhealthy and unproductive business relationships. Lack of transparency. Bluffs can create a culture of secrecy and lack of transparency which can erode trust and confidence in a company.
Now we have here the real-life examples and case studies related to business bluffing and problem in fair pricing. Bluffing in business and the challenge of fair pricing are intertwined ethical issues that have significant implications for trust, reputation, and long-term success. Bluffing undermines trust and integrity, which are foundational to sustainable business relationships. We all know that misleading stakeholders can lead to a loss of reputation, legal repercussions, and a breakdown of trust between businesses, customers, and other stakeholders. Fair pricing involves setting a price for goods or services that is justifiable and acceptable to both the seller and the buyer, considering the cost of production, market conditions, and the value perceived by the customers. Prices are influenced by supply and demand, competition, market trends, which can make it difficult to determine a fair price, while dominant players can manipulate prices, leading to unfair pricing. Companies may face dilemmas in balancing profit margins with ethical considerations. Setting prices too high can be seen as exploitative, while setting them too low can undermine business sustainability and hurt competitors. Aligning with prices with those of competitors while ensuring quality and value can help maintain fairness and competitiveness while adhering to legal and regulatory standards for pricing can prevent accusations of unfair pricing and protect the business from legal issues. We have here the examples or real-life examples of business bluffing and problem in fair pricing. We are all familiar with the Enron scandal story in 2001. Enron, an energy company, used complex accounting loopholes and special purpose entities to hide massive debt and inflate profits. Executives misled investors, analysts, and employees about the company's financial health. This resulted in declared bankruptcy, shareholders lost billions, and employees lost their jobs and pensions. Key executives were convicted of fraud and other crimes, highlighting the dangers of deceptive practices in business. Moving forward to our next example, we have rice cartel and price manipulation. So here in the Philippines, we all know that rice is a staple food, and its price is significant concern for the population. There have been instances where cartels manipulated rice prices by hoarding supply and creating artificial shortages to drive up practices that led to higher rice prices. It causes economic strain on low-income households. The government had to intervene by importing rice and cracking down on hoarders to stabilize the market and ensure fair pricing. For our last example, we have water utility pricing controversies. Mainly, it is all about Maynilad and Manila Water. So in recent years, there have been controversies involving the pricing practices of water utility companies such as Maynilad and Manila Water. Consumers have complained about sudden rate hikes and poor service quality. The public outcry led to government investigations and regulatory scrutiny. The companies faced fines and were required to improve their service and justify their pricing structures. The controversies highlighted the need for transparent and fair pricing mechanisms in essential utility services. Relevant laws and regulations applicable to business bluffing and problem in fair pricing. So here in the Philippines, business bluffing and fair pricing are governed by several laws and regulations aimed to promote fair trade, protecting consumers, and ensuring ethical business practices. So, the Consumer Act of the Philippines, Republic Act 7394, This is the primary consumer protection law in the Philippines. It aims to protect the interests of consumers, promote their general welfare, and establish standards of conduct for business and industry. We have key provisions related to fair pricing, include Article 50, which is the prohibition against deceptive, unfair, and unconscionable sales act or practices, and Article 52, unfair or unconscionable sales act or practice. So we also have the Philippine Competition Act or the Republic Act number 10667. This aims to enhance economic efficiency and promote free and fair competition in trade, industry, and all commercial economic activities. It prohibits anti-competitive agreements, abuse of dominant position, and mergers and acquisitions that substantially prevent, restrict, and lessen competition. Lastly, we have the Price Act or Republic Act number 75881 that aims to ensure the measures of basic necessities and prime commodities at reasonable prices at all times. It provides measures to stabilize prices and prevent profiteering, hoarding, and other unfair trade practices during emergencies or any event that causes widespread price increases. Here in the Philippines, business bluffing and issues with fair pricing have had significant social and economic impacts. The examples highlight the importance of transparency, ethical practices, and regulatory oversight to protect the consumers, maintain public trust. Addressing these challenges requires continuously efforts from both the government and the private sector to ensure fair and equitable business practices. So that's all for real-life examples and case studies and relevant laws and regulations applicable to the business bluffing and problem in fair pricing. Once again, this is Ivy May Balanta reporting.
So hi there, regarding this topic, my name once again is Dominic Francis S. Gomez. The topic that we'll be discussing is ethical theories about business bluffing and problems in fair pricing. So for this topic, there are also two common theories or frameworks when it comes to fair pricing, how prices of goods are being considered in the market. First one is going to be called the cost theory. So according to the cost theory, fair price depends on the costs of production and a reasonable profit margin. So basically, you're going to be estimating the value of the product based on the profit margin in the market right now and how much the labor and production costs. Next framework for fair pricing would be the market theory. So according to the market theory, fair price varies based on utility, scarcity, supply, and demand in a given market. So unlike the cost theory, market theory depends on how in demand a product is. So that's how they define how they're going to price the goods that they're selling. So once again, this is Dominic. I'm going to be discussing the best possible solutions and practices in order to prevent the problems arising from business bluffing and problems arising in terms of fair pricing. So upon discussing this with my teammates, the best possible solution that we have in order to maintain fair price within the goods is to implement activities and evaluations from the local government units just to make sure that the goods are still under the suggested retail pricing that is amended by the Philippine government. So with that way, we can prevent overpricing from small all the way up to large businesses. And in terms of business bluffing, the way to prevent the problems arising from this is to require every small up to large businesses to have a report, an accurate report of how much it would cost them to produce the goods that they're selling.